We're now at the season finale. When I did the Lost Journey Season 1, I turned Exodus Part 1, 2 and 3 into one video. But since Season 4 is so short, I think I should space things out. After all, I'm going on yet another hiatus after this season is over. In an off-screen scene, Saeed has been using the Zodiac Graph for a long time. He left the freighter at sunset and has been traveling all night. There is a possibility that he was slightly off the bearing, just by a 0.5 or something. And there was a time dilation that made him skip most of the night. Saeed already knows about the time dilation from the day he and Desmond came to the boat. Or he simply sailed for many hours. After the sat phone was thrown out of the chopper and landed on top of Claire's tent, a nice way of telling us that she will no longer stay there and that she's now truly lost to the grips of the man in black, the group are now back at the kitchen table and discussing the situation. Frank is flying the mercenaries over the island. Sawyer, Miles and Aaron are over here. Locke, Hurley and Ben are over here.
Well?
He wants us to move the island.
Claire is still with Christian. We don't know for how long, but I've just placed her here. The group start trekking towards the Orchid. The chopper lands over here in a grassy area. On the sat phone, Frank says that they are 5 kilometers away from the Orchid. So I believe they are here. They handcuff Frank Lapidus and then proceed going up the hill to the Orchid. The day starts. We've now finally arrived on day 100. It's December 30th, and this is an insane day in terms of island trekking. Our characters are going so many places in this finale. Jack and Kate follow the phone's location, and it is pointing towards the chopper. They should be over here, having passed some of the familiar locations, such as the Ethan death site and the Swan Station crater area, and then arrive here. They meet Miles and Sawyer. Kate and Miles head back to the beach with Aaron.
Hold up! You don't get to die alone.
Jack and Sawyer continue moving on through their dark territory and up towards the chopper. They will continue passing various jungle areas, but they don't walk in the golf course valley. They walk over here, which is a little bit quicker, I guess. That way they won't even meet Hurley, Locke and Ben, who are now going through the valley.
So when is someone gonna tell me where we're going? We're going to a place called the Orchid, Hugo.
Ben, Hurley and Locke are now out of the thick jungle and in this valley, not too far from the radio tower. They come here and Ben signals for the others for help. In my episode on the Blastor map, I proposed the theory that this place is an abandoned Dharma station, way up on the mountain peak, and is the unseen meteorology station.
A large-scale communal research compound where scientists and freethinkers from around the globe could pursue research in meteorology, psychology.
Some of the others are here and get Ben's message. They will therefore contact Richard Alpert to bring a group of the others to assist them. Richard is currently at the temple and will hastily move. Ben says that the crackers are 15 years old, meaning that they came into that box in 1989. Since this is something Ben knows, there was likely a situation back in 1989 where Ben or someone else with him got this box of crackers from the pallet drop. After all, they are not that far from the Swan Station. The box had a Swan logo on it, and someone put it in the trunk there while communicating. Ben was also using an ESM-1 signaling mirror. Saeed returns on the Zodiac raft, and this is a fun shot. There's a sea turtle on the beach, but by the time the survivors come, it's gone. I guess the turtle got scared. Maybe it is the same turtle as the one from across the sea. Having lived through so much, being over 2,000 years old, I mean, it's a weird island. Kate comes back with Aaron and Miles. Saeed and Kate set off to find Jack. Daniel takes the Zodiac raft with a bunch of survivors, including Sun with Aaron and Jin. In this case, he will not spend an eternity to get to the freighter. Remember, Saeed left at sunset and came here the next day. Maybe Daniel was a little bit more careful with the bearing. Let's go to the freighter. Michael has been working on the engine all night and get up the stairs to the main deck. Finally done fixing the engine, and then walk over here to get out in the open area. Daniel passes the barrier with ease and arrives at the freighter. The survivors board it, and he promptly takes off to get back to the beach. Sun and Jin meet Michael. Desmond goes up to tell Hendrix, who likely took over command after the death of Captain Galt, to head to the island. which means that the freighter will finally be inside the barrier. As Desmond points out, they need to stay on bearing 305. He refuses to come within 5 miles of the coast, citing radio interference on his fathometer, which prevented him from seeing the reef. Back on the island, in an off-screen scene, someone from the others contacted the people at the temple, likely through a radio system or a walkie-talkie. Richard put together a large group and then planned a trek to the Orchid. I'll propose the theory that they use the tunnels instead. We know that there are tunnels underneath the temple and the barracks for starters, so I think they used that shortcut instead of going around the mountains. They went up one of the tunnel entrances and then went down here, heading towards the Orchid.
Got yourself shaven?
Juliet took out my appendix a couple of days ago.
Kidding me.
Sawyer and Jack have been trekking through the jungle really fast, but not as fast as Locke, Ben and Hurley. Sawyer and Jack are over here. They meet up with Frank. Back on the freighter, Desmond has likely gone to the communications room to see what the interference is. However, the room with the C4 is different from the communications room, and it is not on the upper deck as the communications room. So I think Desmond scoured the entire ship and found this room. From the upper deck, going down to the main deck, trying to see what blocks the signal, and then taking the stairs down to the lower deck, and then encountering this room at the end of the hallway. It looks like a weapons locker. He runs back up the stairs, then down this hallway, and then to the dock.
I need you, now!
And then all of them go down here, down the stairs, then down the corridor to this room where they see the massive amount of C4. Kate and Saeed are over here. Richard, Alpert and the others have doubled back, they surround them and then head over here. This is where the others set up camp. We'll see this location in the next episode. Let's take an additional look at this scene. First of all, I've placed the area where the others circle our characters at the line, which I thought would be a good callback. Although the location of the line is quite enormous, it has this open green field with the prominent black rock, but further in is the more dense jungle location. So I think the placement of this location fits. Everything is shot at Heiakea anyway. Another thing is that this scene is quite interesting for Richard Alpert. He knows that Ben is at the Orchid. Thing is that Saeed and Kate, whom he meets now, he already knows. Saeed killed one of his friends in 1977 and helped dismantle Jughead. He also knows Kate from that same day. I believe that Richard, while walking to their camp, realizes that this is it. The time trial will soon commence for these characters, since they all look the same as they did and they're all going to the Orchid. In an off-screen scene, they will talk about attacking the mercenaries, and he knows that if Kate and Saeed will be sent there, the island won't let them die, since that will be a paradox. Saeed and Kate are supposed to be in the past, so they will be fine. Locke, Ben and Hurley are still crouching near the Orchid. As you can see, the whole above ground place is completely destroyed. It was several stories high. The Darwin Initiative almost violated the truce by building it so close to a historical site, namely the well over here, which seems to be part of a larger structure as seen by those beams compared to the well we see in the 6th season. Ben goes in and surrenders.
My name is Benjamin Linus. I believe you're looking for me.
See you next week for the final episode of the 4th season of The Lost Journeys.